guys, welcome back to Angie's Table. This is Ella. If you guys haven't already seen our birth vlog, go ahead and watch that first. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about what it's like to be a first-time mom since I am a new mom here. I had a lot of expectations of things going smoothly, but things didn't turn out the way that I expected them to. We're going to be talking about all the difficulties with feeding and sleeping and even with like labor and delivery and all the misconceptions, what I've experienced. We're gonna go right into that. So with labor and delivery, there were a lot of things that I did not expect at all. I thought it was gonna be pretty fast and easy. To some degree knew how difficult it could be because my mom didn't have the most easy experience giving birth to Angie or me, but I thought it would be different in my case. And because everybody goes through it, I just didn't think it would be that difficult, but it ended up being a lot more painful and longer than I had imagined. I got the epidural a lot sooner than I thought I would. I was thinking that I would tough it out and get it as late as possible, but that clearly did not happen if you watched our other vlog. In terms of delivery, I mean, that alone took 2 hours of me pushing, and it was so painful and so traumatic that when the doctor had placed Ella on me for skin to skin as soon as I had delivered, I honestly wasn't very joyful. I had expected look at my daughter and just think, oh, all of that pain is worth it and the pain is completely gone because now I have Ella. But that did not happen. Now that I look back at it, obviously if that's something that I had to go through, no matter how traumatic it was worth it because I have her. Oh no, we're gonna start peeing. Don't pee, don't pee, don't pee. So another thing that I didn't expect was that I wouldn't be using a lot of the clothes that I bought for Ella. I thought, oh, you know what? These are so cute. There's so many cute baby clothes. Bless you. And she's gonna wear a new outfit every single day. Well, she does change 5 times a day, but it's just into her onesie pajamas that have mitts and footsies, which are pajamas with zippers because that's the most practical thing. They are changing 5 times a day. There is no need for cute clothes when you're home because they're not gonna need it. They're gonna spit up on everything. So my recommendation is just to buy a bunch of birth cloths and a bunch of zipper pajamas. Alright, so in terms of routine for a baby, it's obvious to us now, but we were kind of treating the situation like when we first started raising Essie. And I know they are very different, obviously. One is a human baby, one is a dog. With Essie, we had her as a puppy, so she was still sleeping like 20 hours a day, but she was sleeping wherever and whenever she was tired. When we brought Ella home, we kind of just had her stuff sprawled out all over the main floor. We would have the TV on, we'd be cooking in the kitchen, we'd be hanging out with our family, and Ella would be there through it all, and we would kind of just let her tell us when she was hungry, when she was tired. We just assumed that when she was tired, she would just go to bed in the midst of all of the loudness and the lights and all of that. Now we've come to an understanding that when she wakes up, she needs a full feed and then time to play and then diaper change and then it's right back to bed. We only realized this when it came to a point where at night we were not getting any sleep because she was being very fussy. But then Kevin came across this holy grail of a book called Baby Wise, which we actually got in the mail today. He wanted to own his own copies. It's a very good reference if you need help establishing a routine, figuring out what your baby needs. It also goes through a couple of scenarios in reasons why your baby might be fussy. They could be overtired, overstimulated, and things like that. One of the other expectations that I had as a mom was that I would just be able to go about my life, run errands, do things that I normally do on a daily basis with Ella, but I quickly came to realize that you can't actually do that when you have a baby that is on a schedule in terms of feeding every couple hours, sleeping every couple of hours. We are running some errands today, but we are trying really hard to not overstimulate her. So if one day we do something, the next day we kind of take it easy. So now that I'm in my happy place, I'm going to talk a little bit about my postpartum recovery and expectations. It was nothing like I imagined. I didn't really believe, I guess, I mean, that's not the right word, but I just didn't think that postpartum would really affect me. I didn't realize that the recovery would also be almost as painful as labor and delivery itself. More specifically, the things that I was experiencing was uterine contraction pains due to breastfeeding, and breastfeeding itself was so painful, but I have heard that it was as painful as contractions during labor, but it was just so unexpected. I would just cry every time I would try to breastfeed because I was just in so much pain. Another thing that I was experiencing was a lot of fluid buildup and swelling in my legs. I think it just really affected my mood because my body was just changing in a way that I didn't even really see it changing when I was pregnant. Postpartum was just really difficult for me. In some ways I would say it was more difficult for me than pregnancy itself. Postpartum blues are seriously a real thing. You can fight it all you want, but I think it's just something that you just will go through. What I found helpful was to talk it out. I just, in that moment, felt so lonely because I felt like I was the only one going through it. Little did I realize that it's something that everybody goes through. It's just not talked about. Whether you're talking to a friend, talking to family members, talking to your husband, it's something that you need to talk it out. If you just keep it pent up inside of you, I think it's just going to break you at a certain point. If you guys are going through it, just know that you're not the only one. It's just something that's not very widely talked about. I feel like there should be more talk of it. Like when people talk about like, oh, it's the 4th trimester, like it truly is the 4th trimester. Yeah, that's my experience. Alright, let's go downstairs and talk while she naps. Alright, so now that Ella's down for a nap, we just got back from Target, so if you were wondering what we were buying, I was just buying some finishing touches for a tree back there. Since it is Ella's first Christmas, I just wanted to make it a little special, so we bought that. And then I also realized that the top of our tree is not twinkling while the bottom is, so I just bought more twinkle lights. So let me just start off by saying it's hard enough being a mom, let alone a first-time mom. At the end of the day, you just need to do what works best for you and your family. And ultimately, a fed baby is a happy baby. So as long as your baby is doing well and is happy and is being fed, like, you're doing a great job. So the first few weeks, I couldn't nurse her because Ella just wouldn't latch. So that was in and of itself very emotionally and mentally exhausting because I thought, oh, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with Ella? Like, what is going on? And there was just a lot of mom guilt with me not being able to provide for her in that sense. So I started pumping, but I found that pumping just made me very miserable. And that too brought a lot of mom guilt because I felt selfish for not wanting to pump breast milk for my own child. But it was more of just being connected to a machine. It's not like I'm even having an emotional connection with Ella. It was me and the machine. And I barely ever got to feed her because I was connected to a machine while she was being fed. And so that's why we decided pumping exclusively just didn't work for us. So obviously pumping didn't work for us because I was miserable. Eventually we did see a lactation consultant and that was great. Ella finally latched, but problems with that was because it was my first time nursing properly, I was having excruciating pain with breastfeeding, and then on top of that I was diagnosed with mastitis. There were issues with clogged ducts, and it was just a very painful, miserable experience in and of itself. It did get better. Now there is no pain with breastfeeding or nursing, but ultimately we decided that combo feeding for us is best, fits our lifestyles. Ella's pretty much happy with formula and with breast milk, but at the same time I still get to nurse her. Obviously there is going to be a lot of mom guilt as a mother. Like, you're going to have mom guilt not only in like breastfeeding issues, but in any other way, whether it's sleep, with routine, like if your baby's fussy, you're just going to have a lot of mom guilt. You just have to understand that like you're not alone in this and that everyone goes through this. As long as you're doing the best you can and your baby is overall happy, healthy, and fed, you're doing a great job. So don't let society tell you that you're being a bad mom because you're doing a great job. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that it helped you. If you are a mother or a first-time mom like me, I hope that this is very helpful for you guys because I found that it was really hard for me because I didn't hear it being talked about. I mean, a lot of the times people make it seem very easy, but it's not. And everybody goes through like similar experiences. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below, and we'll see you guys next time.